So they'll be calling you a radical. This is a real important video. So Southern Oregon, as you know, Tim Martin and I have hammered away on this since the day Fukushima happened. Well, even before that. And this is such an epic, radical collapse and catastrophe that's happening before our eyes. And we're the only ones reporting it. We're the only ones working it. The only ones on the earth that are working it, which is absolutely pitiful, actually. Got a little bit of snow on the mighty Wasatch. It's pitiful. So, the Rogue and the Deschutes are on the verge of extinction. On the Chinook and the Steelhead. The Steelhead, wow. So Tim Martin's been posting these. He and I have been working this. You know, he's a lifetime, born and raised Southern Oregon, really famous salmon guide. He most likely caught the world's record steelhead in 2010. He never released it, but he's got pictures of it, and I've had people review, and they says, oh yeah, that's a world record. And this catastrophe didn't happen until 2011. Now, we have all the data. You can sit and say it was this, that, the other thing, but that's hearsay. That's not what a scientist does. A scientist gets to work. It doesn't do, you know, you hypothesize, hey, these are full-blown out nuclear meltdowns. It's going to break the eco chain. It's going to cause the greatest ecological catastrophe. You're going to see these fucking salmon numbers collapse. You know, then you have to do your field work. And I want to say to all you people that are regurgitating my work now, Blanchtradamus, son of Cassandra, where's your fucking field observational work? You cannot be a real PhD without field observational work. These PhDs in Americana now, they're fucking like toilet paper. I mean, they're worthless. Copy-paste PhD fucking academia. We always relied on academia. What frauds. Where's Oregon? University of Oregon. Where's Oregon State? Where's the University of Washington? Where's Washington State? Where's Weber fucking hate? I mean state. Bootlicker you. I mean, it's pitiful, actually. So, these numbers are down 99% since 2011. So, Martin just, you know, so what's a half pounder? A half pounder is the first year that the steelhead go to sea for 1 year. They come back. The first year they come back, they're called a half pounder. They net them. You know, the test netting, which is over the top disgusting. They even do that. And these are probably double and triple counted. The second year they come back, they're a steelhead. Yes, steelhead live in the ocean. And then their life cycle's over. Chinook go to sea on average of 5 years. That's why Kevin Blanch says you won't see this collapse, and it'll be the smoking gun of Fukushima until 2016. You know what kind of numbers were 2015 on the Chinook on these rivers? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Same with the steelhead. And you can't even believe anything the fucking you see on the, and that's been verified by ODFW and anything. The Army Corps of Engineers, when it comes to Columbia, does nothing but lie. The Army Corps of Engineers who classified Kevin Blanch, they do nothing but lie. You can't even. But by the way, the Alaskan fishing game got sued, and their Chamber of Commerce got first sued for lying on numbers, padding. But their numbers are a catastrophe. I mean, you could take regressionary models and run on all these said rivers. Well, and you put it in symphony with the collapse of the tide pools. I love how they're still saying that the tide pool collapse was starfish went because the sea stars went because of wasting disease. What a fucking lie. They didn't die from wasting disease. That's total horse shit. If that's true, then why did the sea anemones and the urchins go exactly, all the tide pool creatures. Kevin Blanch, the tide pool guy, world's foremost expert in the world on tide pools, Kevin Blanch. That's unarguable. It isn't about your opinion and fuck what you say, who you say. I mean, these academia freaks and these people, not who I am, fuck, it's what I say I am. You're fucking frauds. You're total frauds. You all belong in prison cells. No, I did the work. And I posted it. Well, the only place I had on YouTube used to call themselves the Great Equalizer. There was nowhere else to go because look, I taught right there. The #1 school in the United States. The #1 in the United States. Not Harvard, not Princeton, not Yale, not Stanford. Weber State was #1. #1. Via the testing. #1, that's unarguable. I was the guy there. Of course, that railroad me. You can't have a fucking public institution beating the private mucks. God forbid. You know, and then I stood up to the Nuclear Crime Syndicate and told the fucking truth. Tell the truth as a professor. You're going to get fucking railroaded. It's actually disgusting what they did to me. They robbed me my medical bills were fucking well north of fucking $2.5 million. They should have paid them because they made deals with me and they defrauded me. They lied to me. I did so much work this is one-way motherfucker you. You know, all the work I did to save their program, ran the program under fucking all kinds of promises, and they just stuck it. Well, this is the same university that did it to Fawn McKay Brody, who's probably the greatest fucking historian maybe in world history. Yeah, she was Weber State. They won't even speak her name around. How about Wat Masaka? Born and raised in Ogden, just like Fawn, just like Kevin Blanche, all three of us. How about Wat Masaka, first player of color in the history of the NBA? What? This university won't even speak his name? Oh, his number's got to be retired. 2 national championships at this university? Won't even speak his fucking name. Why? That's a very good fucking question. I just told you why. So, these numbers are a catastrophe. Absolute catastrophe. Martin's all over it. You know, we'll post the links. Fuck. 286 half-pounders in the Rogue. For the year, not 286,000, not 2,860, 208 for the, and then most likely been double counted. That's extinction stuff. We're on the verge. It's unbelievable. Well, California, they come right out. You know, this is on the California fucking Oregon border. California come right out and fucking, they have such a small handful fucking, and they opened it for one day. That was their gig. I guess I want to be the guy to catch the last Chinook salmon in California, in Southern Oregon. Well, Washington, at least ODFW is better than Washington. The state of Washington, look it up. When this catastrophe was happening big time, and I'm calling them constantly, look it up. WFW were having orgies. The guy who headed the fishing game in state of Washington is in prison for raping a fellow worker at a party they had. And they admit they were having orgies. Look it up. You don't have to believe me. It's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. And I stood right there at remember the other willow, which I named Megan Rice? Today Megan Rice, when I was right after her sentencing, I was standing right there and the wind blew it down. What a catastrophe ecologically. So in science we don't do your opinion, fucking hot water gate. We don't do any of that. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious. They're not even that anymore, they're fucking on vacation. That's all that, permanent vacation. They don't work. You're a biologist in the fucking state of Oregon, in the state of Washington, and he said, you don't do anything. You don't do nothing. You know, surfs, I guess. Well, it's past surfs. Fuck, it's pitiful is actually what it is. Well, it's look, if you went to University of Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, San Diego State, UCSD on the hill, they're the worst of them all in La Jolla. Them dirtbag lowlifes. Remember their great starfish count? They finally come out of denial. Starfish count. They did, all the institutions in San Diego got together and said, we're doing a great starfish count for the entire coast of San Diego. The coast of San Diego is 70 miles long. So, they're doing the count. And they used students, they used freelancers, they used everybody for the entire year last year, 2024. Guess how many was counted for the year? 60. Well, Kevin Blanche, because I know that coast so well, the true fucking tide pool guy, the biologist, I counted 124 in one day, in one spot. You know, because I know where they're at. You know, the world is run by those who show up. So, we're on the verge, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands, this acute radical drop-off just since 2011. I mean, these stillhead numbers are beyond a catastrophe. It's 286 half-pounders in the entire fucking rogue, the coal hatchery. And, you know, and they net them, what, 60 times out of these holes. So the counts are fucking, if anything, they're overcounted because they fucking double or triple counted them. Which is a sickening way to count them anyway. They chip so many of these fish, but we're talking wild and hatchery. I mean, together. We're talking the whole shebang. I mean, I'll post these numbers. Me and Martin were talking about it, and he says the sad thing is, nobody gives a fuck. You know, the Post-Ignorance Project started out, we had a lot of strength and a lot of momentum, but I look back, everybody that was involved in it, they were in it for all the wrong reasons. You know, I don't know what their trip was. Well, I think a lot of them were paid trolls. I know they are. I know for a fact, Palco and Balco, some of those people in Oregon, they were paid to take me apart, to friendship bait me, and then try to fucking, well, look what they did to me. Didn't work. Yeah. Well, I'm in critical condition. Didn't work. Did it? Didn't work. I'm still here. Open heart surgery twice. Think about it. I did all this historic work with AML leukemia, given 2 months to live. I mean, had $1 million worth of Tesla stock and Apple stock when I got sick. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious, they're alarmed, they're criminals. This is the greatest cover-up in human history. And I don't do opinion, never did do opinion. First shot, these are full-blown out nuclear meltdowns. They're going to push this energy into the Pacific Ocean, it's going to get into the mantle, it's going to get in the ocean, it's going to break the chain immediately. Everything I said came true. The heat dome over the West United States. Look it up, 2011, 2012. Great Salt Lake at normal levels in 2012, started to collapse. The fucking fire event, all predicted. I named it Futonium fires. Futonium, it's going to get into the pine, it's going to cause a heat source unforeseen in the history of mankind. Now they're coming up the common years. I did that in real time, walking the coast. Greatest die-off in human history. Hot Watergate, the blob. I'm the guy that named it the fucking blob in 2011. First you hypothesize the knowledge, then you fucking do your field work. It's going to give you I get leukemia. The fact that I go into a bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. Think about that. 3/11s. Given 2 months to live. Open heart surgery twice, ripped open, slandered and attacked, which are felonies in all 50 states. Look at I mean, dozens and dozens of Reddit feeds, Facebook, YouTube. No one gives a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They can do anything. Never free, never me, because I did the Unforgiven. I took on the cult. The Untouchables. Fuck the Untouchables. Fuck the nuclear energy call. Fuck them. Fuck them. So, this is from hundreds of thousands to 286. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Remember Mark? Me and him was arguing. He died of cancer this year, by the way, up there. The writer that I was arguing with. And he says, "Oh, we're gonna have 400,000 on the road this year." I says, "Are you fucking nuts?" This is back 2016. He died of cancer this year, younger than me. I mean, it's nuts how everybody goes along with the fucking winning team. You know, the Mitchell Act. Remember, we used to have the Martin Blanche Matrix. How much was being spent per fish? You know, we had 10,000, then 100,000, then $1 million. The trucks, the boats, the trips, fucking everything, all the resources being spent. It's millions of dollars being spent per fish. I mean, it's sickening. It's fucking bizarro. It's, well, I don't know. People are some kind of, still buying boats and the fish one day a year, catch one a year. I mean, whoa. It's fucking nuts. Psychoism. I don't know what the fuck. People are, well, the whole country's hypnotized by television. Operation Foxconn News, wanted by Jetstream. How did they do it? Wanted by Jetstream. Do it by cable TV. So, these numbers are catastrophe. So, the Rogue and the Deschutes are on the verge of extinction. I mean, right on the verge. Oh, we took out the Klamath Dam. One made it back. One, yeah, that's going to work. When they're fully admitting they're dying at sea. And my work has absolutely proven it. Because the Chinooks didn't clash till 2016, as foretold by Son of Cassandra. Because why? They go to sea for 5 years. It's a smoking gun. We have fucking almost 15 years of data now. You can't fucking, well, you can argue with me, but you're going to lose the argument because I don't do opinion. First you hypothesize the knowledge, then you do the field work. And I'm transparent about my PhD. Fuck, it's all out there for God and everybody. I want to say all these people that regurgitate my work on the, you know, like the humpbacks and the grays are saying, yeah, it was a starvation event. Show me your field work. Show me your field observation. I showed you mine. Show me yours. And what do I get for it? Slandered. I don't get any funding. You know, James in fucking, Lewis in NoCal. That's it. And thank for him. You know, I get $1,000 a month for this boy. Thank God for him. That's it. That's all I've been getting. You know, and so Dell in Chesapeake, he supported me along the way. James, but I mean, where's the philanthropists? Where's the foundations? Where's the fellowships? Where's all the academia world saying? Tim Martin told me today, he says, you mean to tell me no one has really ever approached you about doing a documentary about you? No. I mean, people ask me this constantly all over. Everybody's like, how come there's no Wikipedia page on you? I says, Wikipedia's corrupt as fuck, don't you know that? They're not going to put anything up on me. They're going to kettle me, they're going to squash me, they're going to hide me, just like they did Semmelweis. Fucking Plato, clear back then. The only thing most hated than the truth is the truth tellers. This is the greatest PhD in human history. At least since Semmelweis in Vienna, Austria, the Hungarian doctor, savior of mothers, germ theory. Well, you know what they did to him. And this was decades before Louis Pasteur. Little invisible germs, that's blasphemy. He made his doctors wash their hands before childbirth. He increased the mortality by 10 times in his patients. For 10 years, he proved it. Still wouldn't believe me. Drove him insane. They beat him to death in a rubber room. Put a straitjacket on him. He was right the whole fucking time. It's the greatest PhD in human history. Thanks to Tim Martin for all this fucking great work he's done. I remember his wife, his ex-wife. She says, we gotta quit watching the Kevin Blanch videos way back then. And she says, you better tell Kevin Blanch, you better quit fucking flipping that fucking tomato soup can before his back. Well, open heart surgery. I've been gutted like Chinook salmon. Scarred from ear to ear. Got more issue. Millions of dollars of fucking bills. University, they fucked me. But that's what they do. Ask Vaughn McKay Brody. Ask Watt Masaka. Ask Kevin Blanch here at One Way Motherfucker You. Pitiful. And I'm born and raised just like the other two were here. They hate us. Well, they hate the fucking... They hate the salmon. They hate the birds. They hate the ecology. They hate the fucking trees. I've come to the conclusion they hate themselves. It's all I can figure. Degenerate. I mean, they're sick. They're sick. Sure hate the fucking truth. This is a catastrophe from hell, and it didn't start till 2011, 2012. And it's an outlier. In science, we don't do mystified, stumped, baffled, curious, alarmed. Now, we don't do that shit. That's fraud. Bewildered. First your hypothesis on, then you get to work. Can't be afraid to be wrong, can't be afraid to be right. If you're right, you're right. You have to do your field work. And if you're right, it becomes the new knowledge. Neon lights, Nobel Prize. Oh, yeah, right. Fucking Obama and Trump gonna get one. Fuck. This is the greatest PhD in human history. This is the greatest event in human history. The meltdowns of Fukushima. This is the greatest crime in human history. The greatest conspiracy. Well, it isn't a conspiracy. It's an unarguable fact. The cover-up of Fukushima. The cover-up of Fukushima is the greatest crime in human history. Bar none. Bar none. Thank you everybody for supporting this historic work. What a fight, huh? 5,333 days, I believe we're on. Goes the greenwashing bus. Run by coal in a place where the sun shines 320 days a year. It's very fucking sad. It's very sad. Stay untuned.